above everyone else. Their power is said to be unmatched by any other demon slayer in history, and their breathing styles were so powerful that nobody else has ever mastered them. They are the two twin brothers, Yorchiiri and Michikatsu, and today we'll compare the power levels of all of their legendary forms to see who'll come out on top. And let me tell you, you are definitely not expecting some of these results. Born during the Sengoku period, Kokushibo's birth name was Michikatsu Sugikuni. When he and his brother were born, they were treated very differently due to Yorchiiri's birthmark, which was considered bad luck. Therefore, young Michikatsu was always his father's favorite and the one to become his heir. For a boy his age, Michikatsu was really skilled with a sword and was constantly training to become a samurai. On the other hand, Yorchiiri had no combat experience whatsoever and would only watch his brother's training sessions. One day, the sword instructor offered to show Yorchiiri a few moves, and to everyone's surprise, Yorchiiri was able to land 4 blows on the man, something Michikatsu was never able to do. Based on this, it's pretty obvious that Yorchiiri was way stronger than his brother during this time. For the next 10 years, Michikatsu was consistently practicing his sword skills, and he eventually succeeded in his wish to become a samurai and started his own family. Although we don't really know how strong Michikatsu was during this time, we know that he was probably the strongest warrior in his camp, and he was the only one that managed to survive the demon's attack. Despite Yorchiiri's incredible talent and intuition, it'd be really hard for him to defeat a fully trained samurai like Michikatsu. Yorchiiri spent the majority of his life growing up on the mountain with his wife, Uta. During this time, Yorchiiri wasn't interested in practicing his swordsmanship skills and just wanted to live peacefully. Nothing is known about Yorchiiri's strength at this point, but considering his Demon Slayer mark and the ability to use the transparent world, defeating a regular samurai like Michikatsu shouldn't pose that much of a problem to him. After the demon killed his entire family, Michikatsu realized just how powerless he really was, and therefore decided to become a demon slayer. He mostly spent this time training, perfecting his sword skills, and trying to understand and develop a breathing style, eventually getting way stronger than ever before. Another thing that made him stronger was hitting the subscribe button every day. Go on, try it! Anyway, although Yorchiiri is more naturally gifted than Michikatsu, at this point, he is just a normal guy living on the mountain who doesn't know anything about demons or breathing styles. Therefore, Michikatsu easily takes this round. These forms so far have been pretty interesting, but from this point on, it's going to get much crazier! Same as Michikatsu, Yorchiiri also joined the Demon Slayers after his family was killed by a demon. While training with other Demon Slayers, Yorchiiri quickly became one of the strongest slayers ever. His swordsmanship was so great that a battle doll modeled after him had to be made with 6 arms and utilizing 108 techniques to even attempt to imitate Yorchiiri's skills. And even then, the doll was still vastly inferior compared to him. This all ties very closely to his Demon Slayer mark and transparent world, which he had since birth, and which allowed him to predict the movements of living things. Even though Michikatsu became many times more powerful since he joined the Demon Slayers, there's just no way he could contend with his brother at this stage. While training with the Demon Slayers, Michikatsu eventually managed to develop his own unique breathing style, moon breathing, which aims to mimic the moon and replicate it with the user's movements. This is considered to be the second strongest breathing style ever, and the one with the biggest number of unique forms. Along with this, Michikatsu also awakened the Demon Slayer mark, which granted him access to the transparent world ability. Although it was never specifically mentioned in the manga, Michikatsu most likely also unlocked the bright red weapon ability, which made his attacks deadly even for the most powerful demons out there. All of this took Michikatsu's overall strength to a whole nother level, rivaling his brother as one of the most powerful demon slayers of their era. One thing that we need to take into consideration is that this form of Yorchiiri has only become a demon slayer recently, and he is still nowhere close to his actual strength. Therefore, Michikatsu should be able to win here. After some time in the Demon Slayer Corps, Yorchiiri awakened his breathing style, sun breathing, which is still, to this day, the strongest breathing style ever created. This breathing style allows the user to never exhaust themselves, and as Tanjiro of this breathing style with the addition of the mysterious 13. The 13th form allows yorchiiri to continuously perform all other sun-breathing forms in repetitive succession in order to increase the accuracy and agility of his attacks. This form was created solely for the purpose of killing Muzan, since the repetition of all 12 forms aims to destroy Muzan's 12 vital organs at the same time, 7 hearts, and 5 brains. Although yorchiiri missed the opportunity to kill Muzan in their battle, it made the Demon King go into hiding for centuries, and even years later, he still fears yorchiiri and anyone else who wields his sun-breathing technique. It's pretty obvious that no other Demon Slayer could ever put Muzan in a situation like this, so the outcome of this fight is obvious. yorchiiri would absolutely destroy Michikatsu in a battle. Okay, for now, yorchiiri seems to be way stronger than Michikatsu, but the moon-breathing user still has 2 incredibly powerful forms left. Is there a form in which he can finally defeat his brother? After realizing he would never reach his brother's strength, out of anger and jealousy, Michikatsu joined forces with Muzan and became a demon. After that, he quickly became the highest-ranking member of the 12 Kizuki, becoming an extraordinarily powerful demon and Muzan's right-hand man. He has battled countless Demon Slayers and has amassed vast experience and knowledge over his 500-year-long life. Even after becoming a demon, he still continued practicing his breathing style as well as utilizing other Demon Slayer's abilities like the Demon Slayer Mark and the Transparent World. This combination of demon and human abilities made Kokushibo nearly unstoppable, with even the strongest demons in the organization being afraid of him. However, would all of this be enough for him to finally defeat his younger brother? Well, not really. Even Muzan ran when he encountered yorchiiri, and considering that Kokushibo isn't as strong as Muzan, the outcome of this battle is clear. yorchiiri would defeat him without much effort. At the climax of the battle against some of the strongest Hashiras of the New Age, Kokushibo found himself in a tough situation with his head cut off. After managing to regrow it, Kokushibo underwent a sudden transformation which caused him to take on a more monstrous and grotesque form. Now, he had protruding fangs, large white horns, red outgrowths on his face, and numerous black and red appendages haphazardly sprouting across his entire body. Kokushibo himself stated that any attacks thrown at him in this state would be meaningless, and that the sun would be the only way to kill him. Although this form was never put to the test, as Kokushibo completely gave up on fighting during the final arc, if this was true, it would make him almost as strong as Muzan, and even all Hashiras together would pose no threat to him. Even so, this video is not about comparing him to the other Hashiras. It's comparing him to the yorchiiri himself. And although yorchiiri is only one man, his truly godly strength would allow him to defeat his demon-turned-brother, allowed him to live way longer than other Demon Slayers of his era, up to around 85 years of age. On the last day of his life, yorchiiri fought his brother Kokushibo, and despite his age, he was still visibly stronger than him. However, what if Kokushibo was in his monster form back then? Would yorchiiri still be able to defeat him? Well, if we consider Kokushibo's words, that yorchiiri's strength was still in its prime even at this point, it's safe to say that the sun-breathing user would be able to defeat monster Kokushibo in battle. It would probably be much harder, considering Kokushibo can now regrow his head, but if yorchiiri uses his 13th form to hit all of his vital organs at once, he should be able to pull it off. Click on this video